Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I want to say a few words, and I'm going to post a video up here. Now, earlier I was in the 24th Street McDowell store today. I went and did some errands, stopped by there, and it was pretty packed. Gas, people were there to get gas, and there was all kinds of. It was just busy. But I pulled up on the on my motorcycle. Yes, and I'm female, by the way. I pulled up on there and there was a car. I'm not sure what kind of car it was, but I do have video on it. And I'll be posting that video with the plate and showing that they don't have a plate or placard. They were parked in there, and I'm a big supporter of QT. They have better things compared to like Circle K or any other things. Although a lot of people are going to Arco for their gas because it's $2.89 or something like that. It's in other places it's $3.20 or $3.30 or $3.35 or higher. But I wanted to let the staff at Quick Trip know, or the corporate, or if there's somebody at that store at the 24th and McDowell store that watches my channel, that I showed the person at the counter, and there's two people in there. I got to talk to the manager of that store, and he seemed pretty nice. And the other person I talked to before I met the manager of that store, I didn't really introduce myself by name. I probably should have, and I'll probably do that next time. But I did, what I did was I was there today, and I usually, when somebody's parking in a handicapped and I can't park there because I have disability plates on my motorcycle and my car, we have 3 vehicles and a couple bikes, and the 3 vehicles do have a disabled plate on them. Now, the newer, well, I wouldn't say newer, it's not like a 2024 truck, but we recently got a new a Dodge Ram 2500, and it does have a disability plate. It does not have a placard, but it does have a disability plate on it. It does have the symbol on the back. So if we were ever to be driving that or riding in it, and we park somewhere, I just want to let everybody know, I'm not sure what goes through people's minds that park in disabled deal, but I can tell you that I do have a prosthetic. I lost my leg in a really bad accident, making a left turn at 7th Street in Mojave, and I was in the hospital for a while, but I'm out now. I've been out for a while, and so I know that a lot of people will get mad at people that film them and they want to start trouble, and I'm not trying to do that. But if you're not disabled, I'm going to read you something that I'm on the phone here, and it's ARS 28-884. It says, hold on a minute. I'm trying to get, it's showing me something else. I'm trying to, okay, the first thing I'm going to talk about is, I just looked up this earlier this evening, and this does, the fine, if a ticket is given for somebody parking in a disabled handicapped space without a valid plate or placard, is considered a civil traffic violation and can result in a fine ranging from 296 to 565, depending on the city, with Phoenix specifically having a higher fine for this violation. So if you are going to park in a handicap, a lot of you are going to get mad because you think it's not a big deal, but you know what? If you're able to walk and you're not physically disabled or have some kind of health issue where you feel like you need to park there, you need to have that plate or placard. You need to have something in your window on your vehicle showing that you are able to park there. Without it, somebody's probably going to approach you in a different manner. Now, granted, a lot of people will want to just fight over it. In most cases, most people will just, tell somebody at the store, the business they're at, or try to tell security, whatever. That may or may not always work. I don't know. But all I ask is that everybody that goes to any Quick Trip, just doesn't have to be the 24th Street McDowell store, because I've been to other Quick Trips at different parts of the area, and I've seen a lot of people that park in handicap that do not have a plate or placard. And I don't see the reason for most people to park in a handicap space when they're not handicapped. There's really no reason you can give me, or anybody for that matter who's disabled, that would make sense for you to park in that space. Either you're a heartless person, or you don't care, or you just don't have a good bone in your body. Not saying everyone's like that, but most people is. I even had a so-called veteran one time at the 24th Street McDowell store. Me and my spouse were up there, and this guy was getting ready to leave, and a comment was made, but my spouse was talking to me, and the guy heard it. He pulled back in the space, and he got out and it argued. Now, it didn't get physical, but it got heated. And this guy said that even if I had a prosthetic leg, it's not his problem, which was when he said that about me, but I was filming this whole time. So, and then he tried to tell the police that my spouse choked him, reached in and grabbed his throat, which was all fabricated because I had video footage of the incident. I had my GoPro going, I had my phone on, so I had all the evidence I need, And I had asked the cop about this and about his space. The guy apparently had something in his car, but it was in his glove box. Now, what he showed us, which he didn't have to, but he went ahead and did, it was he did have the number of the placard on a paper, but the paper was inside his glove box. And he thought simply because he was a vet that he could still park there. But on his plate, there was no international disability symbol for parking in a space for the disabled. So prior to all this happening, he goes in and he goes back inside the store, and he has someone call the police. They come out. I was calm and cool, but I was filming the whole time I was there. Police were filming, whatever. But nothing really happened that night. But I've looked up statute on this, and they've rewritten the statute. The current statute does not say what it used to say. It says that you have to have specialty plates or the national symbol for disability somewhere on your vehicle. So wherever it is on your vehicle, it's got to be visible. It can't be in your glove box. It shouldn't be but in your close to your drink holder or in your cubby thing in your car. It shouldn't be on the side of the door. If you're going to park in a disabled and you have something to show that, please display it. Otherwise, people just go on my YouTube channel, their cars, because it's disheartening to somebody who's disabled versus somebody who's not disabled and can walk. There's really no, as a person and as a human, I find it very, very disrespectful when people park there. You know, I don't know if the people care. I don't know if they don't give a shit. I don't know what the, but there's no reason if you don't have a plate or placard on your car at any place, not just Quick Trip, but or a specific location, but anywhere. You know, it is the Christmas season. I know some of you are just very heartless. You get gifts because you think you need to, and you have this so-called, you know, really bad attitude, which is really not the good attitude. And you know, you can say all you want about, well, it's Christmas, I was in a rush, blah blah blah. Blah. You can make all the excuses in the world if you're parking in a disabled space where you're not supposed to be. Because if you don't have a plate or placard, or one or the other, or both, you shouldn't be parking in a disabled space. Some of you out there get mad because somebody who needs a space, you get offended because they're waiting on you. You act like that it's their fault because they're disabled, and it's not. But most of you out there that park in that space, whether it be a Quick Trip or any business, should have more respect for the disabled or the elderly or somebody that's got really bad health issues that needs that space and not park there. You know, but even though it's private property, it is publicly accessible to the public. So, from what I'm told, and I hope that this is actually true, and I hope that Quick Trip is not feeding me some kind of line, because there's no reason to argue about this aggressively. But if you're not disabled and you're going to park there, there's no reason for you to park in that space. There's no reason in any sense that anybody can do out there to convince me, as a disabled person myself, to say, I need to park there because. No, if you can walk and you can move and you can, you know, do things that most people can't that are disabled, depending on how bad their disability is, then you shouldn't be parking in that space. Just have a little respect. Most of you, I know I said, are heartless, and some of you have a bad attitude about it and want to fight and want to make an issue of it and want to, you know, get aggressive, and that's not it. But even though when I come there, yes, I do film, but I'm not going to hang around 3 or 4 hours, you know, on the property. You know, I've talked to the people on the side and let them know that I have a YouTube channel dedicated to this because I do. So, those of you who want to park in spaces that you think you might need to park in or don't care, there's a lot of people with cameras that will. There's cameras everywhere. Cell phones, other types of cameras, you know, body cams, you name it. And somebody's that is gonna take the time to make sure that your vehicle that's parked in a disabled is gonna be put on YouTube for educational purposes. It's not to get your plate to come and find you and do all this other stuff. Nobody's after you. But if you're going to park in a disabled place, please, please, please make sure you have a international symbol hanging from your window or on your plate. If you don't, please park other spaces, whether it's a Quick Trip or any business for that matter. There's businesses that their security don't simply care, and the police will say, well, the store has hired me for theft of shoplifting and stuff like that, and they could write tickets. I don't know if anybody's ever getting a ticket, but I'm glad that the tickets are $295 to $595 because they need to be up there, because maybe if you all have to pay a ticket, you'll quit doing that, because that's money that most people do not have to park in a space where most people think they should. Another thing is people who think they are, simply because they're military, that you all can park there. I've looked it up and I'm still doing research on it. From what I've read so far, it does not exclude military personnel to park in that space. You still have to have a disabled or international symbol for parking there. So, like I said, we have disabled plates on most everything we drive or ride. You know, and if I really, if you know, I guess if someone wanted to hang out for a couple hours there and do filming, they could. Somebody might be uncomfortable and will report to the store, but I'm not there to harass anybody. I would never do that. But if you're going to park in a handicapped space, and you know, some security might be there to, at any business for that matter, to keep the employees safe as well as the customers. That's totally understandable. But if something did go down, I would hope that security there would be able to intervene. Now, and the only reason why I say that is because maybe a security guard that's there at the business, maybe they were in the military, maybe they have some kind of karate training or something. And if something went down that was really major, that they'd be able to intervene that way, and hopefully they would have a body cam on to show what the incident, what happened, and that would be a better thing to do. Hopefully they don't have to do that, but I'm thinking if something did, they could. I mean, yeah, they could always call 911. They could probably come pretty quickly, and they could handle it that way. But what about if something happens between the time they called and the police actually get there to try to handle the situation? Because sometimes police might be busy taking care of another call, or it might be a busy night and they're stretched thin on first responders to come aid in that, depending on how bad things are and what the circumstance and situation is. But again, if you all are going to park in a handicapped space, just, if you don't have a plate or placard, please have respect for the disabled like myself that have a prosthetic, that when they get out of the vehicle, they can park in a space up by the, because not everybody can walk very far when they have a prosthetic. Some people can. I'm still in physical therapy to this point with my legs, so I'm not able to walk from like around the back from Quick Trip all the way around to the front, just because you think you need to park in a space that you should not be parking in. And my channel is not to be a threatening channel. It's not meant to be. It's for educational purposes. That is what it is for, and it's for. I know that Quick Trip has cameras. I don't know how often they look at those and how serious they take the parking violations there or whatever. I do know that I was told they are working nationwide at making. I think if I understand what they said in the store today, that they are trying to make it nationwide for all the Quick Trip stores, to everyone there, I think, has to take a class on disabled parking and how to handle it and how to approach the person doing it. Now, the 24th Street Medalla store, they have told me, and I've been told this by corporate people over at Quick Trip Corporate in Tempe, that some customers will say sorry, that they did, and they're very apologetic, and those are the good ones. And then there's some that just are very heartless about it, and that's not. But and another thing I can tell you, it is federally mandated. If you look at a federal law on disabled parking, it also states it's federally mandated on a federal level too. So I don't know, and I need to look up what the punishment it would be on a federal level. I have not got that far yet, but I am going to look that up just for curiosity, because I want to know what, on a federal level, if it's federally mandated, what would be the what would be the punishment or whatever you want to call it for doing that. And that's another thing. So I don't know if you all want to look it up too and educate yourselves too. I'm going to do that as well because I was told it's also federally mandated disability parking. So if it is, you all out there need to please have respect for disabled people and don't get mad because we need to park there and you want to park there and you're not disabled. Don't, I know some of you out there are going to want to fight at the store and have arguments and say nasty things to somebody. You're wasting your time doing that. Have a little respect for people who are disabled and stop wanting to fight and stop wanting to cuss and everything else. You don't know if you can physically, obviously when people see me and they know I'm disabled, it's obvious. They can see my prosthetic. So there's nothing to hide on my end. But if I can't park there because someone else is parked in a space. Now, most not Circle K's, excuse me, Quick Trips have 2 parking spaces. And sometimes they're right in the middle. Sometimes they have one on the left side of the store at the one entrance and one on the right side at the other store. And that's okay too. But the middle ones are better. But, just try not to park there. Have some respect. It is the holidays. I know everyone's stressed. It's a difficult time. The holidays can be very difficult, very stressful, and you're working your job and you're all stressed out and whatever. But aside from that, try to have a little heart. Remember, even though it is the holidays, there's a lot of people that can't walk very far with prosthetics. Most people can. Sometimes it takes somebody longer to get used to their prosthetic versus other people. Not everybody's going to be able to walk the same like y'all do that have 2 legs that are not prosthetic. So just keep that in mind, But those of you who are very heartless and don't care, it's, like I said, just remember it's federally mandated for disabled parking as well as a statute here in Arizona. So you can look up ARS 2882 and ARS 2884. In fact, I will do that. Well, this thing's going to die. I may not be able to do it right now. I will. The key points about Arizona disabled parking, it says penalty type, civil traffic violation. Fine range varies from city, but generally between $296 and $565. And yes, law enforcement officers can issue a citation for parking in a disabled spot without a valid placard. Now, that was an AI overview of that. But if you really want to get technical about things, 2884. This one states. Let me read this here. And those of you who see that this is video can also look it up as well. 2884. My phone might die before I finish this, so I'm going to go ahead and do what I can because my phone is down 1%, so it might die. But let me see if I can turn. Oh, it died. I can't even read it. Sorry. I'll do another video with that in there. But if you all want to go look it up, 28-882 and 28-884. Those are both very important. And again, if you want to Google what is the fine for disabled parking in the disabled without a placard, it will come up $295 to $565 for the traffic violation. So I'm going to post a video on earlier today with a car. It had tinted windows, but I was able to take my camera and without going like touching the car or anything, I was able to zoom in on the window. There was no placard in that. Now I did mention it to someone in the store, and by the time we got to pay for our stuff, the person who drove that car was actually had pulled out and was getting ready to go forward, but the car had backed out and went, vertical. So it was too late. But you know what? I still, in my personal feeling on this, and maybe it doesn't matter from a, law enforcement standpoint or from a statute standpoint, but I say, my feeling is that if somebody parks in that spot, and yes, even though they're not going to be there for that long because they're getting stuff and then they're leaving, whatever, if they're parked in the spot, I still think they should receive a traffic citation, even if it's several hours later, because they're going to keep doing it if nobody enforces it, or if there's no way to, make everybody aware or approach somebody without getting in a fight about it and asking them not to park there. People need to have a little more respect for the disabled. Not everybody does. Some people say that people that are disabled are too slow and they're keeping them down and they're making them late. And I've heard that excuse too, but that's not true. All I got to say is, those of you who can still walk and do things, be thankful that you can still walk and stuff. But for those, if you see a disabled person, be nice. There was somebody, I don't know who the person was, but we were leaving to go out. They were getting ready to come in. They held the door for me. I have a crutch that I used to walk with, and I thanked them for doing that. They didn't have to do that, but they did. They said, "Thank you, you're welcome." That was it. And that was the end of the conversation. But, when anybody who's disabled has to wait for a space because your car is parked there and doesn't have the international symbol on the car, in the window, or on the back of the plate, it's just, somebody has to park further down, and it's going to probably wear them out trying to walk from one side of the deal if they're physically disabled and can't walk that far. So just try to have enough respect and think about that. Anyway, this is Pink Angel Author Out. I will be posting that video today. You all can watch it and let me know what you think. Now, I won't be turning on my comments because some of you want to make nasty comments about it, even though I do these videos. So all you can do is like or dislike. If you dislike it, then don't go to my channel, because I will block you or do whatever, or I'll take the video down, repost it, and disable the other settings. So, and again, this is strictly also not just for educational purposes, but to try to show the Quick Trip employees at that store or the corporate headquarters in Tempe what goes on at different Quick Trips, and what cars are doing violations and how often they're doing them. Granted, I can't be there all the time 24/7, but when I do go there, yes, I usually get something to eat inside and I eat it there out in the parking lot, and then we take off, and we either come back home or we go to our next destination. But that is it. So I hope you all enjoy this video I'm about to post, and hopefully you all enjoy it. Pink Angel out.